Hi, I'm Matt Wong, and I paint surrealist landscapes. So with my work, I like to invoke the same emotions that I had as a kid playing video games. So I like to create 3D worlds and just kind of the sense of exploration of like looking around this corner, what's over here? Or like, who's this guy? What does he need? Maybe that object I saw over there could help him or something like that. So this one's called I Was Holding Z. So in a lot of games, you would hold Z to do what is called a long jump. So the joke here is that you can see that the player 2 has died by falling into this gap here. It's kind of like he was saying to player 1, look, I was trying to do a long jump, but I still couldn't make it over, and I fell and died. Some of the video games that inspire me are from the N64 era, so Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. I guess Psychonauts has an influence as well. So generally I start just by doodling in a sketchbook like this. Not everything in here is good, but I just doodle just to fill the page essentially with different shapes and textures, anything that I think looks cool. And eventually, or occasionally, there'll be a certain shape or a composition or something that I like, and I want to take it further as a painting. Here's a doodle that I did, and I really like the composition of it, of the kind of the house and the portal within a wall. And this piece, Crawl Space, is kind of the extension of that, realized as a painting. So obviously with this, there is no color, and there's not really any values as well. So generally, it's just a bunch of shapes. So when I'm composing the painting, it often becomes a point of trying to figure out what the shapes are as far as real-life objects. So for instance, that bookshelf would have just been, let's say, a rectangle in my sketchbook. And so I'd have to fill out, oh, well, in this scenario, it makes sense that there might be a bookshelf there. And just playing around with things like that. And so a lot of times I will start with a grise with no colors, or just navy blue essentially, and black and white, just to get the values right. And I'll take a picture of it, and sometimes I'll do a mock-up in my computer, so I'll airbrush in some colors just to see what type of color palette would work for that particular piece. I generally work with dulled, grayed out tones. I just find them more soothing, I suppose. And there's a lot going on in the paintings anyway, so I think if it was too noisy with the color palette, it might be a little too much for the eyes. I was at a art supply store once, and they had circular canvases, and I'm sure other artists can relate, seeing something that, hey, I could do something cool with this. That's not something I'm used to, so in order to get started, I will do thumbnails in my sketchbook of just circles, because obviously it's a different shape, different compositions are going to work with it. So here you can see what I'm talking about, where I just have kind of just lines and shapes and some geometry, but nothing's really realized as to what it is. So this is actually the first draft of the one you see behind here, Watchful. As I continue the painting, I obviously will make some changes as well. Most of the portraits are from photo reference. I use my girlfriend a lot as a muse, but not often do I have really the capability to get a live person in front of me when I'm painting. I'm not proficient enough to paint faces just from imagination.